Glenn Morris was a farm boy from Simla, Colorado, who had come to Colorado Agricultural College to run track. As the track coach, Harry Hughes often utilized his track athletes on the gridiron. Morris was a natural at the end position. His running ability made him a dangerous weapon in the deep passing game. The Aggies as a whole would have more luck during the 1933 season. Apart from a scoreless tie against DU in the second game of the season, the Aggies would steamroll through their first 6 games by beating Wyoming, then a third straight win over CU, giving them a 6-3 record against their rivals in the last 9 years. When the final game of the season arrived, the Aggies found themselves in a heated conference race. Both CAC and DU were undefeated in the conference, while Utah sat in second place at 4-1. CU upsetting DU and Utah, handing the Aggies their only loss of the season, resulted in DU, Utah, and CAC having equal 5-1 records, resulting in a 3-way tie for the championship. This was the 7th championship for Harry Hughes and the school. In recognition of their talents, Glenn Morris and Ralph Mogg were given the honor of playing for the West in the East-West Shrine game in San Francisco. An incredible accomplishment considering how rare it was for the game to feature 2 players from the same team. In 1934, Colorado Agricultural College became known as Colorado State College of Agriculture and Mechanical Arts, which the press and public abbreviated to Colorado State. And the new Colorado State Aggies would take the field for 1934 with a few changes from the 1933 co-champions. The toughest loss was Glenn Morris, who had played out his eligibility. The season would start with a 12-0 win in Greeley, which would end up being the teacher's only loss of the season. After a loss to Arizona, the Aggies would face DU. The Aggies would end up getting the lowest scoring win in school history. A blocked DU punt that ended up an Aggie safety would be the only points scored in the game. After a shutout of Mines, the Aggies were looking for a 4th straight win over CU, but Colorado would deny them with an easy 27-9 win. A logjam at the top of the conference saw the Aggies, Utah State, Utah, Colorado, and the teachers from Greeley all in the mix. The Aggies and DU would beat Utah to knock them out of the championship running, and then Utah would beat Utah State. This left a 3-way tie at the top for the 2nd year in a row. Colorado State, Colorado, and the teachers would share the championship. After the season, Wilbur Little Red White would be signed by the Chicago Cardinals, becoming the first Aggie to play in the NFL. At the end of the 1934 season, Harry Hughes completed his 24th season at the helm of the Aggies. No other coach at that time had spent more time with one team. Although the back-to-back championships would be the last that Hughes would see at Colorado State, he had done more for athletics than any other man on campus. During his tenure, the Aggies had won 8 championships and had a winning record 18 times. He would continue to coach football for the next 7 years and be the athletic director for the next 19.